Sarah, before we dive into the nitty-gritty, I've got to ask, how did one tiny sound like the glottal stop become such a legend in London's speech scene?
Honestly, it's wild how much power that little pause has. The glottal stop, that kind of silent hiccup in place of a "'tisn't just a quirk," it's almost like a badge of belonging in some London circles.
And it's funny, because when I first started noticing it, I thought people were just dropping letters. Turns out, there's a real system behind it. It feels like a secret handshake for Londoners.
Exactly. It's not random at all. There are rules, social and linguistic, for when that to get swallowed. And the way it signals a shift from so-called proper speech into something more local is fascinating.
The glottal stop really draws a line in the linguistic sand, doesn't it? RP speakers mostly avoid it, but it's everywhere in Cockney.
You're spot on. In received pronunciation, that crisp to sound is a status marker. But step into East London, and suddenly bottle turns into bowl. It's almost like you can map someone's postcode by how they say water.
I actually tried saying butter with a glottal stop, and I felt like I was channeling my inner market trader. It flips your whole vibe instantly.
Ha! I've had similar moments. Switching accents really does shift your whole persona. That's why the glottal stop has such a reputation. It shapes identity.
All right, so let's give this a go. If I take the word better, I'd normally say it with a crisp to better. But if I go full glottal, it's more like bear. Am I even close?
That was honestly pretty convincing. What you did was replace the "ter" in the middle with a little pause, like your vocal cords are momentarily shutting the door. Try bottle next. See if you can make it bowl.
Bowl. Wow. It really does sound like I'm from a different part of town. Makes me want to drop a few more consonants just for fun.
Careful, or you'll go full Cockney by the end of the episode. Joking aside, mastering the glottal stop is a real rite of passage for anyone learning London English.
What always trips me up is when you're supposed to use the glottal stop and when you're not. It's not every single "t", right?
Exactly. It's a pattern, not chaos. Generally, you'll hear it between vowels or at the end of a word like in city or what. But you won't find it at the very start. Saying table as able just sounds odd.
So, it's a bit like a linguistic traffic light. Green for the middle and end, red at the beginning.
Totally. And then throw in exceptions. Some people keep the "t" in certain words for emphasis or clarity, especially in formal situations. Londoners are nothing if not flexible.
That brings up something I've always wondered. Why is the glottal stop sometimes seen as bad English?
It's got a bit of a reputation, hasn't it? I think because it's so closely linked to working-class London, some people unfairly judge it as lazy or sloppy, even though it's just as systematic as any other accent.
And yet, whenever I hear it on TV or in music, it gives me that raw, authentic London vibe. I guess perceptions can shift depending on context.
Exactly, sometimes it's almost rebellious, almost cool. It's funny how a sound can be dismissed by some circles and celebrated by others.
What surprised me most is that glottal stops aren't just a London thing. They pop up all over English, even in places you wouldn't expect.
So true. Scottish accents have their own glottal stop traditions, and even Americans sometimes use one without realizing, like in mountain or button. It's like a linguistic underground movement.
Linguistic underground, love that. Makes me wonder if people notice those little changes in their own speech.
Probably not unless they're language nerds like us. But hearing it in other accents shows it's more universal and much less stigmatized in some places.
If we zoom in on multicultural London English MLE, how does the glottal stop fit in there? Is it the same as in Cockney?
Great question. In MLE, the glottal stop is still a big player, but it mixes with influences from Jamaican, West African, and South Asian languages. The result is this dynamic, ever-evolving soundscape.
So, it's not just about dropping the t anymore. It's a whole cocktail of sounds blending together.
Exactly, it's what keeps London English so vibrant. You never quite know what you'll hear next walking down the street.
Speaking of which, have you noticed how many celebrities lean into the glottal stop? Adele, for one, practically made it her trademark.
Absolutely. And Michael Caine too. The glottal stop gives their voices that unmistakable London quality. It's almost like a branding tool, instantly recognizable, even globally.
It's funny what used to be considered incorrect is now kind of cool. People imitate it for authenticity.
Totally. It's gone from being something to hide to something to flaunt. Pop culture has a way of turning stigmas into trends.
If someone's not from London, how would you even begin to practice the glottal stop without sounding forced?
Honestly, a mirror helps. It's about feeling your throat close off, not your tongue tapping. Try saying button with a pause instead of a t. It takes a bit of muscle memory.
I've found listening to native speakers on YouTube helps too. It's like learning a new dance move you need to see and hear it in action.
Definitely. And don't stress about perfection. The charm's in the attempt, and Londoners will appreciate the effort more than flawless delivery.
I've started to notice glottal stops all the time now in casual chats, even in the office. I never realized how common they were.
And once you tune in, you can't unhear them. It's almost like discovering a new layer to the language. Even people who think they speak properly will drop a glottal here and there, especially when they're relaxed.
It's so true. After this episode, I bet a lot of listeners will catch themselves doing it without even trying.
That's the magic of noticing suddenly you're in on the secret part of the club.
What I find fascinating is how people switch between using glottal stops or not. Almost like code switching, depending on who they're with.
Spot on. Someone might use the full t in a job interview, but as soon as they're with friends at the pub, out come the glottal stops. It's a subtle way of fitting in or standing out depending on the crowd.
Language really is like fashion. You dress up or down depending on the occasion.
Exactly. And in London, the glottal stop is like a classic pair of trainers. Always in style, somewhere, even if it's not everywhere.
So looking ahead, do you think the glottal stop's influence in London speech is here to stay? Or could it fade out as accents blend?
Honestly, I think it's only going to get stronger. With the mix of MLE, Cockney, and global influences, London English is more flexible than ever. The glottal stop is part of that DNA now.
Makes sense. The more connected the city gets, the more creative people get with language. The glottal stop isn't just surviving, it's thriving.
And who knows? Maybe in a few decades, what we consider proper will have a glottal stop right in the middle. Language loves to surprise us.